Fear is an excellent thing because I believe that the fear was actually put in you as like a mechanism device.
Fear is a good thing because it keeps things exciting, and if you try and conquer your fears, you really feel like you're doing something and you're overcoming a fear.
I think everybody fears something, so I suppose that fear is a good thing because it's natural and it's normal.
Fear is good because it sometimes, keeps you from hurting yourself or other people or whatever it is, and sometimes it's not good because you live scared all the time.
Fear is a bad thing because it restrains you. Fear is bad. You can have it. When I say it's bad, to show your fear and to express your fear is bad.
Fear is a bad thing because it stops you from doing a lot of things that maybe without fear you would do and become a better person.
Fear allows us to acknowledge that we don't see the whole picture, and it shows us that we're not in control.
Fear, if you have in the right quantities, I think can keep you alive.
Without fear, people would be doing just about anything, and that may not be the best thing in this world.
Is fear a good thing? It's powerful, it's thrilling, it's what makes us wake up and live. So, for example, when did you pay money to be afraid? Everybody pays money to be afraid. Do you ever see Jaws or a horror picture or do a parachute jump or roller coaster?
I paid to go to a scary movie and a scary ride.
The last time I paid to be afraid was haunted houses.
I once paid to go skydiving.
Getting up on the mountain and hanging by a rope is sometimes a great thrill, and it's pretty scary.
When I went to a theme park called Wonderland, where we went on this massive roller coaster where you go up and down and you're upside down, you twirl and spin around, your feet hang down and your arms are in the air, and you're just so frightened.
I have paid to be afraid, but it's rare. I don't like scary movies and haunted houses. I get nightmares.
Actually, I like being afraid. Like, I'll put myself in like a dangerous situation, and I like going to horror movies, and I like the unknown. I like the fear factor.
You're paying money to be afraid. Why? It wakes you up. You feel alive, yeah? But besides that, you see, fear is both loss and gain, If I could pay you $1 million to recount all the most wonderful times that you had in your life, but you have to come up with at least 100 really wonderful experiences you had, well, then you'd have a whole list of 100. It would take you a little while, but you know that you would manage to bring together all your powers of concentration, of attention. Somebody would talk to you, you say, shut up. Get out of my way. I got $1 million. So it's a way of bringing your powers to focus. Besides which, fear is, and the reason that we don't want to be afraid is it's painful. But that pain is like a guard. It's something to protect you. It's something that tells you that you're in danger. So fear makes you come to attention and watch out. Watch out, somebody's coming after you. Watch out, the car's coming. You're on your way,
Last time I was really scared was on the plane. I hate planes. I have no control over a plane.
I'm afraid of failure.
Personally, I fear plenty of things. I fear a lot of people, I fear animals, I fear heights.
I'm afraid of spiders.
I'm afraid of spiders.
I'm afraid of deep, dark waters, like oceans.
I'm afraid of being murdered, I'm afraid of being burgled, I'm afraid of being shouted at.
The last time I was really, really scared was when I got stuck overnight in the canyon with no food or flashlights or water or dry clothes or wild animal repellent, if there is such a thing.
I'm afraid of having to deal with that if someone close to me dies.
I'm afraid of the oceans, I'm afraid of dry land.
Last time I was afraid was, getting on an airplane. It's a kind of a scary thing nowadays.
I can honestly tell you, I don't get really scared a lot.
I'm afraid of zoos, I'm afraid of fire, I'm afraid of televisions, I'm afraid of blinding lights, I'm afraid of everything.
If people would be afraid of what's going on in this world, of terrorism, yeah, don't wait until the Twin Towers is destroyed. If they would anticipate what would happen, they would have tightened up the border lines much before this happened, and maybe avoided this terrible tragedy. But right now, they're not afraid enough. Right now, they're not really taking seriously this threat of terrorism. By being afraid, then we would bring together all our powers, our mind powers, our resources, and we find a way of getting rid of it. But we just don't take it seriously until, God forbid, it's gone. The pain makes you make an effort to avoid it. What is the fear that everybody should be using all the time? The fear in Judaism, we say, the fear of death. Don't waste life. You know, if a doctor told you that you had 2 months to live, then you would be on the alert. You would be looking, what is life about? If a doctor told you in 2 weeks you won't be able to see anymore, you'd be looking around to remember everything there is, what a face looks like, what your children look like, what this beauty of sight is. You'd be focused, meaning, powerful.
If I had 2 months to live, I would work on myself, become a better person.
If I had only 2 months to live, I would spend them with my family.
I'd try to get close to my family.
I travel the world. I don't know why, but like I'm in love with freedom.
Really try and spend my last few moments like just bonding with the people who have really impacted my life.
Sorry, I can't answer that question. It's too much for me.
If I was told I had 2 months to live, I'd just go drinking and smoking every night, and that's all I'd really do.
If I only had 2 months to live, I think I would continue doing the same things that I'm doing today, except probably I would have more connections with other people.
Okay, so you got 70 years to live, but is it time to find out what you're living for? Of course it is. Don't wait until the last moment. That's a little late. So really, death gives us the ability to get to live fully. And it's not something that doesn't happen to us. It's not something that you're going to avoid. You're not going to avoid it. Live with it. You say, that's morbid. No. Life is precious. That's the first thing to learn. So fear is something that people think is an enemy. It's not an enemy. Fear is a tool to live with, to use, to mobilize your powers, to know how beautiful life is, and to be real about the time that you have.